Welcome back to Fox 5's On the Hill Live this Sunday morning. You know, during the debate this past week, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump touched on some of their tax policy platforms. Trump cut taxes in 2017 and wants to extend those tax cuts while looking at raising tariffs on trading partners, exempt tips from the base tax. Now, Harris, for her part, wants to extend existing tax cuts for individuals making less than $400,000. but increase taxes for high-income individuals and businesses. She also says she's in favor of exempting tips from the tax base, exactly like Donald Trump has said. Daniel Bunn is the president and the CEO of the Tax Foundation, a nonpartisan group, and he recently testified before Congress on tax policy. Daniel, thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
You know, sometimes, and I said that before the break, because sometimes you talk about tax policy, people love to yell about taxes.
It's true.
But talking about taxes, sometimes they, you know, kind of lean back away from. So boil it down for us. What are the big differences between what Donald Trump wants to do and what Kamala Harris wants to do? Because the other night, they seem to be arguing about tariffs.
Yes. So the big difference on the Trump side and the Harris side is how they would want to raise additional revenue. And for Trump looks to double and triple down on the tariff side of things, wanting a 10% or sometimes he mentions a 20% universal tariff across the board, and then a 60% tariff on goods coming from China. For Harris, her approach is to increase taxes for businesses and high-income individuals, high-net-worth individuals, jumping the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28%, higher capital gains rates, and things like that. So that's a big difference. And at the end of the day, they both want to preserve most of the tax cut from 2017. Harris, those individuals below 400,000, Trump, basically everybody.
One things politicians love to do is play games with the word tax. And as somebody who, you know, has dedicated their profession to talking about taxes, boil it down for us, because sometimes, you know, things like tariffs or fees or all other kinds of things essentially are a tax, but they're called different things. So is there really a difference between something that's like a tariff that's placed on another country that eventually gets pushed onto a consumer because the consumer isn't directly paying that tariff?
From an economic standpoint, they're all the same. Now, these different terms that we use describe kind of the different legal structures that are used to raise the money. But exactly what you're saying, the impact falls on real people, whether it's the business, corporate income tax, real people, shareholders, consumers, workers bear some of the burden of that. And on the tariffs front, all of that really flows through to the end consumer. So when she talks about this as a sales tax, you know, that's political rhetoric, but it's a good way of framing this as an impact on individual consumers.
Your group has crunched some of the numbers, and we want to put up a model that you have looking at the Harris plan. So tell us, you know, gross domestic product, gross national product. Break this down for folks. What exactly are they looking at here?
So what we're looking at here is essentially a plan that results in a smaller economy. And that's a challenge, because what we need is more growth, more investment, more competitiveness. And that's the same thing actually for the Trump plan. When you take into the full extent of the approach, there's a lot of reductions in activity as well.
All right, so this is the model of the Trump tax policy. What's the big difference here?
Yeah, so the big difference, that number on long-run GDP actually ignores some of the negative impacts of the tariff. So once you take into that full spectrum of the policies, you end up with both candidates with a larger debt and a smaller economy.
So why didn't they articulate, in your opinion, this during the debate? There seemed to be a lot of give and take about my plan's good for who, my plan's good for them. It didn't really seem to get into any of these details.
No, and that's the way it is with a lot of tax policies. There's an ignoring of the details and a focusing on the political high level. But when I look at this, I see both of them looking at different ways to punish the people that they think should be punished with tax policies and provide benefits for those that they think should be benefited. And it's the same thing we see a lot in these policy debates.
That might be the best distillation I've heard of this so far. Daniel Bunn with the Tax Foundation, we appreciate you so much bringing some insight and some analysis into what both of these candidates are looking at as far as tax policy.
Thanks for having me on.